I'm struggling with speaking. My writing is 0. I struggle with speaking. I make a lot of gaps. I can't find the suitable words. When I try to speak, I forget I can't. They aren't going to understand me.
I don't want you to struggle with your English fluency anymore. My goal is for you to feel proud because you can use your English confidently. My goal is for you to feel motivated because every day your English fluency improves. To do that, today you're going to learn 8 daily practices to improve your English fluency. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. To help you remember these 8 daily practices, I've created a framework called Speak Up. This framework is simple, easy to follow, and it will improve all areas of your fluency. So let's review it together. The S in this framework stands for speak. I receive comments every day saying, Jennifer, I'm struggling with my speaking. And that's why the first daily practice is to speak out loud. So how can you do this? Because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Jennifer, I don't have anyone to speak to. Jennifer, I live in a country where there are no native speakers. Well, guess what? The good news is, and I'm being serious, you don't need anyone to speak to.
Are you serious?
You can absolutely improve your speaking on your own. You just need to speak out loud. So how can you do this? How can you speak out loud? Well, you can choose a topic and you can give yourself 1 minute to speak on that topic. Now, while you're doing this, I recommend recording yourself because when you record yourself and listen, first, you're getting comfortable with the sound of your voice because most likely you don't like the sound of your voice.
I need that nice voice. This book has my voice. I hate my voice.
You'll also be able to notice areas for improvement, and then you can make it your goal to improve those areas and focus on one area at a time. Now, if you're thinking, well, Jennifer, I don't know what topic to use. Don't worry because there is this great website called Random Question Generator. You can just Google that, Random Question Generator. And what this website does is you press a button and it generates a question for you. So all you need to do is generate a question, hit record, and speak for 1 minute. And then generate the next question and speak for 1 minute. If you do this 5 times, you just practice speaking for 5 minutes. And remember, this is a daily practice. So just aim for 5 minutes every day. And if you can do longer, that's great. Now let's move on to P. Plan your day in English. You just practiced your speaking, so let's move on and practice a different skill. And in this case, we'll focus on your writing. I know this is an area that many students struggle with, like this one student who said, my writing is 0. So to fix that, you can plan your day in English. And you do that by just opening up a Word document, or you can get a pen and piece of paper if you prefer, and just write down whatever comes to mind about your day. Maybe you're going to write your to-do list, the things you need to do today. Maybe you can write your goals for the day so you can plan out your day. And with this activity, it's also forcing you to use the future tense and maybe the present simple or other verb tenses, but it's a great way to practice writing in different verb tenses as well. Our next letter in our framework is E. This stands for emulate. Emulate natives. Do you know what the word emulate means? Well, it means imitate. When you emulate someone, it's basically you imitate or you copy them in a positive way. Emulating natives is very powerful because it improves so many different areas of your English fluency. Many students said they struggle to understand fast speech or understand natives, or they struggle to respond in real time. This daily practice to emulate will help you do that. So what you can do is you can find a short TV show clip movie clip, or even a YouTube clip. And what you're going to do is you're going to listen to a very short section. You can practice your listening skills with that short second. And when I say short, even 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds is all you need. So you'll listen, and then you can listen many, many times to get comfortable with those pronunciation changes that take place in fast English. You can notice certain words or expressions or grammatical structures that you don't quite know and make a note of them. And then what you can also do is you can emulate yourself by shadowing. You may be familiar with this word, to shadow. So you are going to open your mouth and you are going to repeat what that native speaker said, and this will help you emulate that native speaker. So you're going to practice matching their pronunciation, their intonation, their rhythm, and also practice using those expressions. The next letter in our framework is A. Act out scenarios. Do you know what it means to act something out? Well, if someone asked you to act out that it's raining, you would probably go like this. So you display it, or you show it, or you role play certain scenarios. That's how you act things out. For this daily practice, I want you to think about what scenario you have today or in the near future. Do you have a job interview? Do you have an important meeting, a phone call? Are you going to a social event? Are you going to a cafe or restaurant? Pick one scenario, and I want you to act that out. So let's choose something easy. Let's say you're going to a cafe for lunch. So how could you act that out? You could pretend first that you're the waiter, and then after you can pretend that you're the customer. So what would a waiter first do when you enter a cafe or restaurant? They would most likely greet you. So act that out, and you can do it out loud, or you can write it down. So you can say, "Hello, welcome, how are you doing today?" And then you can play the other role. So you can act out the customer. "Hi, yes, just a table for two, thank you." Now you might be thinking, well, Jennifer, I don't know what these scenarios are. That's why I'm here. I need to learn what a waiter would say, or I need to learn what a customer would say. Well, don't worry, because you can use ChatGPT to help you. So you can ask ChatGPT to create a short scenario where a waiter is greeting a customer at a cafe. Now you can read this out loud, and then once you practice it for a while, you can practice doing it without looking at the prompts that ChatGPT gives you to make it more of a challenge for you. And think of how confident you'll feel going into that cafe after you've acted out that scenario. Now, of course, I just use going to a cafe as an example. Choose scenarios that are real for you. Choose scenarios that happen in your daily life to make sure that you go into these situations feeling confident and prepared because you've acted them out. Our next letter in the framework is K. Keep a vocabulary log. In this framework so far, you have probably come across many words that you didn't understand when you were emulating native speakers. There were probably words or grammar rules you didn't understand. Or when you were acting out a scenario, there were probably many expressions or words that ChatGPT generated for you that you also didn't understand. So this is why you're going to keep a vocabulary log every day, because as you're doing these activities in the framework, I want you to write down 5 to 10 of the words, expressions, or grammar concepts, or even words for pronunciation that you want to focus on. Remember, this is a daily practice, so you don't want to overwhelm yourself with 50 words every day. Keep it to 5 to 10, which is realistic, because of course you need to then learn those words and get comfortable using those concepts.
Practice, practice, practice.
And this leads us to our next daily practice in the framework U, which stands for use. Use what you learn. So in the last step of the framework, when you keep a vocabulary log, you identified many areas that you want to improve. You learned new concepts. And also in all the previous steps, even when you were speaking and recording yourself in step 1, and when you listen back to that recording, you probably noticed certain areas you want to improve. So now it's time to use all of this new information, the new words that you didn't know, the new words that you learned, the new pronunciation, or the words that you want to improve your pronunciation. Now it's time to use it because you want to make sure you're also getting output, which you already have done a lot of output in this framework, but you want to keep getting output daily. The last letter in your daily framework is P. Personal reflection. It is so important to reflect on your day, reflect on what you learned, reflect on your progress. So I want you to promise me one thing. Can you do that for me? In this section of your daily practice, P, personal reflection, I want you to make sure you include one thing that you're proud of with your English every single day. Because this will help you stay motivated. This will help inspire you because you realize that, wow, I am learning, I am improving every day. Because yes, learning English is a lifelong journey. And yes, there will always be areas that you want to improve. And that's why it's so important to focus on your successes. Focus on your accomplishments. So in this personal reflection, you can choose if you want to write it down, which is a great way to practice your writing skills, or if you want to say it out loud, which is a great way to practice your speaking skills. And you can do a combination of both as well, depending on your needs. So identify one thing that you're proud of. Maybe you learned one new word. Maybe you understood most of something you read in English. Celebrate that success. And also in this section of personal reflection, you can summarize what you learned, which is a great way to get repetition of that new information. You could summarize a meeting you attended. You could summarize a conversation you had. You could even set some areas for improvement that you can reflect on and make progress on for tomorrow or for next week. The important point is that you enjoy the process. So choose activities that you enjoy doing for this framework because you'll be more likely to do these activities every day if you enjoy it. So now you have your daily practice. All you need to do every day is speak up. And now you have these activities. You can find the link to download this daily framework in the description or the comment section. And of course, make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And this video will help you get started with your new Speak Up framework, so watch it right now.